two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. With Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
Oh man, that is popping, dude. I love it.
I do
those
too.
Of you that, those of you listening through like a, Apple, podcast or Spotify or something like that, we had a video and everything. It was pretty dope. I love it. Props to you, Ryan, for doing that. And that's right, we're calling him Ryan because we have a whole bunch of big announcements. So we know that it's not officially the new year yet. But since it was our 1-year anniversary, we're starting our new year, new us, new everything a little bit early, just a week or two early. So with that said, we switched up our logo. If you can't see it, if you're not watching, there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. It is popping off everywhere. It's on all our social medias, a little bit more, legit. We're trying to go, business, business casual now, right? Business casual, formal business.
Something
I don't
like
know.
that.
We're doing
Yeah.
something. We're going big. We're going to the moon, as our boy always says. It has all of our things that we're streaming on it. Everything else. We also got new names on top of that with that new intro and a new song with our boy. He's always killing it. Props to him. But the new name. So MWO is dead. He is gone. I'm still the dude of Wrestle Talk since we are rest in peace, MWO. And since we are still two dudes with attitudes, I am now the heartbreak dude, Denton. That's right. You can catch me at HBD Denton on all services now. Anything social media, it's at HBD Denton. So now I have one clean one. And I also have a new logo. Check it out. You'll see it on all social media. And now Shooting Star PRS is no longer. So who you at, Ryan? What's your thing? Let us hear it.
Yeah, so Shooting Star Press is also dead and gone. I got tired of people not knowing how to spell it or calling me shooting straps or shooting starpers. I got called a couple of times. So yeah, I decided let's keep it simple. And my new name is Ryan Enjoys Wrestling because I'm just a dude who enjoys wrestling. So that's what I like to do. And I feel like there's a lot of tribalism right now in wrestling. And I feel like we all just need to remember that we like this stuff and we need to enjoy it. So it's my daily reminder.
Well said. And you have a new logo too.
Yep,
it's
new logo.
made. You just need to pop it up. Yeah, the REW logo. It looks sick as well.
I'm impressed with that one. Yeah, that one was.
Yeah. Shout out to my girl Brandy for making all those. She made all 3 of our logos. And yeah, so new year, new us. I'm ready, man. I am big. Look at even my daughter's on here. My daughter's making videos now on YouTube, believe it or not her face, but she's making some cool edits. So props out to my kids who are in the other room because, it is holiday, winter, Christmas break, whatever you want to call it, to be politically correct. But I love that you said everyone's so tribal now. I love that we just need to bring it together. And what better way to bring things together with peace and to make ourselves more legit? Because there's nothing more legit than using your own name, right? Because we got to use our own names. We got to show who we are, not hide behind any fake persona because we're here for the long run. We're here to do big things. And yeah, man. So we're ready to, dudes. We are ready. So let them know. What should they do to keep getting us bigger and getting us to where we need to go, Ryan? What should we do?
Subscribe right here on the YouTube. We're at 580 subscribers right now. We want to be at 1,000 I want to be at 1,000 by March, and I think we can make that happen. We're just 420 away. 420. We're just 420 away from making it happen. Go follow us on any podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Apple. We're on Google. We're on Podbean. You name it, we're there. So go find your favorite podcast platform, type in 2 Dudes with Attitudes, and go follow us there and rate us and review us. Every little bit counts.
And don't forget our TikToks. Follow at Ryan Enjoys Wrestling on TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's get us bigger. Let's get Ryan to 5,000. Let's get me to 10,000. Let's do the same thing. Let's get it by March, man. Let's get it.
Let's do it. Yeah. By the time we go to WrestleMania, let's be big. Let's make it big.
That's what I mean. Let's get it going, man. Follow us, HBD Denton, Ryan Enjoys Wrestling, all the platforms. YouTube. We have a YouTube. We have TikToks, we got Instagrams, we got an X now. I just got into the world of X because, Ryan told me I need to get into X, if you know what I mean, like the new women's tag team champions. So, yeah, man. So I got into that X and yeah. And with that said, when there's a new us, a new year, new logos, new names, what else? All the same great content you're going to get. But now we got to switch it up, right? Because you always got to evolve. So our shows will be run a little bit differently now. We're always going to open up with a quick little intro. But with that said, we're going to do some new segments. We're going to discuss latest news in WWE and AEW probably every week, unless something isn't going on. But like this week, we had 3 things going on. There's like 1,000 more things. So we're going to open up some news. We're going to go through our normal reviews and breakdowns of all things wrestling, and always end it with our awesome segments that we always try to bring something new every single week on each episode. That's for AEW and WWE. We're still keeping it split though, right? We still got to do WWE and AEW. We'll see what happens. Maybe pretty soon we won't be able to do AEW anymore. We'll see with all the news we're talking about today with certain things from a little Bugs Bunny. So yeah, man. So with that said, you ready to get this started?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We're going to get into our breaking news coming out of the world of WWE. And right now there's really 5 big things that are happening. A couple of honorable mentions. We're really going to talk about 3. So a couple of honorable mentions. Liv Morgan was arrested last Friday for marijuana possession. She had like this much marijuana, but apparently Florida is very strict that if you don't have a prescription, you will get busted. And she got caught. I think she had like, I don't even know, like small amount, like less than a kilogram, I think, of weed in her car. But she has the mugshot seen around the world, the most beautiful mugshot I've ever seen of anybody. And the news is there's no backstage heat on her whatsoever. So whatever WrestleMania plans they had, if they had any, whatever, she's currently nursing an injury. So whenever she's ready to come back, apparently there's no heat on her at all. So Liv Morgan is, she was busted, but she made bail, and we'll see what happens with going forward with her.
Really quick, she looks that just shows that some wrestlers look better without makeup. Same thing with Rhea Ripley. Have you seen Rhea Ripley without makeup? These girls are like dynamite. Gorgeous. That's the thing. Also, I think it's kind of bananas that in Florida, I'm pretty sure, I've never been and I never will go. You go all the time. I'm pretty sure it's an open carry and you can literally kill somebody with reasonable cause and get away with it, but you can't have a bag of weed on you. I just want to throw that out there with how messed up this world is. That you can straight murder someone and be okay. But if you got some weed on you, slappity slap. But also in the defense, but I do see everyone like free this, free that. We're also adults. We all understand that not every state is weed carried. And California, I can do whatever I want. And other states, you can't. So we do have to stop coming with excuses as well. We're adults. So you're in for like the girl who went across the country, the basketball player, and was banned forever. And it was just some weed. Well, you weren't supposed to have it. So the rules, don't do it. If you, everything in life isn't fair, but you got to follow it. So I'm over all these people like, oh, boo-hoo. She knew what she was doing. So sorry. Yeah. But but this will make her bigger. She's about to become a star off of this. Yeah, so.
I think so too. And they need to make that mugshot a T-shirt. It would sell like hotcakes. So they need to get in on it.
I said that on my ex. One of my first posts.
So the other honorable mention story is today is the day that all those wrestlers that were released not too long ago, Mustafa Ali, Matt Riddle, Elias, Dolph Ziggler, just to name a few, they are officially free agents. Their non-competes are up, and they are free to sign anywhere they want, whether it's AEW. Matt Riddle's already going to MLW. So curious to see if any of these people are the devil. In AEW, curious to see if they end up in Impact, because apparently Impact has the biggest signing that they've ever had. They're doing the same kind of Tony Khan teases coming up at their next pay-per-view. So who knows who it could be? I'm thinking it's probably Sasha Banks or somebody along those lines, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But I'm curious to see if any of these people show up in AEW.
Yeah, and Sasha Banks wanting Charlotte Flair money made me laugh all week. I have no problem with people fighting for Kirk Cousins is one of the highest paid quarterbacks and he's garbage. Fight for yourself, but it's laughable that people are saying pay her that kind of money. I'm sorry. I like Sasha Banks. She's dope, but get out of my face with that. She ain't Charlotte Flair money. Sorry.
Speaking of Charlotte Flair, she is going to be out for at least nine months, maybe longer. She did a moonsault on SmackDown a few weeks ago and landed awkwardly on her knee. and apparently tore every cruciate ligament in her knee, her ACL, her LCL, her PCL, her MCL, and apparently her meniscus as well. And so she's going to be out for at least 9 months, which means she won't be on the WrestleMania card. She may not make it back for SummerSlam. SummerSlam might be pushing it, but it's around August time, so maybe she can make that work. But yeah, she's definitely not going to be at WrestleMania. And I was just starting to get into the Charlotte character. I was just starting to get into her not having a title, getting used to her not holding the belt. It looks like they were doing Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair at Mania. It's kind of the direction they look like they were going in. So I'm curious to see what direction the WWE goes in now with Charlotte sideline, because that's a big star.
Yeah, get better soon. That sucks. She'll come back and win the title, but that sucks. So
yeah,
get better soon,
he always
Charlotte.
does.
Get better soon. Yeah.
Prayers up for a speedy recovery. And then speaking of re-signings, because Charlotte Flair also re-signed with the WWE prior to tearing her ACL, but your boy Dirty Dom has agreed to a contract extension for 5 more years, and his deadbeat dad Rey Mysterio has also agreed to a contract extension. Nobody really knows the terms. I've heard.
I think.
Yeah, I heard 3 years. And he's planning on wrestling these 3 years, which means he's not retiring anytime soon. And
he is when he wrestles Dom at Mania.
Yeah, if that happens, then we'll see. But I could see them. Maybe they have an option. Maybe they have some sort of like, this will transition into a Legends deal. This will turn into a trainer deal. This will turn into a backstage producer type role. So we don't really know the terms and conditions of that contract. I don't see him wrestling for 3 more years in WWE. But Ray and Dom are locked up. Charlotte Flair is locked up, and apparently WWE is going after all pending free agents. Becky Lynch's contract is up. Seth Rollins' contract is coming up here shortly. Rumor has it AJ Styles' contract's up in January, unless they decide to add more time to it because of his injury status. Drew McIntyre's contract's coming to an end. So apparently Triple H is going to be pretty aggressive in re-signing all of his best wrestlers on the roster right now. And he'd be foolish not to.
Yeah. Out of all the new re-signs, the best thing that any organization did of a re-signing right now was Dirty Dom for 5 years. That is like money in the bank, bro. Biggest heel in the world right now.
He needs to win that, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. But he's 5 years. Imagine him in 5 years. Yeah.
He's only like 22, 23 too, which is he'll
still
still be in his prime.
Yeah. And you know how much money he'll be worth in 5 years? They're getting a deal on him. Signing him for 5 years was a mistake on Dom's part. A good job on TKO's part, because they're going to pay him a lot less money than he deserves for the next 5 years. So props to that. Good job, WWE. Keep my boy around.
And speaking of Dirty Dom, our last news story of the day, on December the 30th in your backyard, Dirty Dom will be wrestling in a live event against CM Punk. And CM Punk will be making his in-ring debut at this live event. It's like the holiday tour or whatever at the Kia Forum against Dirty Dom. The CM Punk broke this news when apparently he's still allowed to commentate for UFC, the CFFC stuff. And he broke this news while he was commentating that he invited everyone to come to the Kia Forum, where he gets to punch Dominic in the face now. He's wanted to do it since he was 8. Now he's legal, and he's going to accomplish it. And then Dirty Dom responded on X with he was like, punch me like this, and it's CM Punk botching a move in AEW where he like messed up his foot or something. So it was a pretty cool troll move. I wonder if CM Punk approved that. I hope so. I hope that you don't want to start any backstage drama with him. But why is this important? It's because
you don't want stuff with Dirty Dom. That's prison.
He's been to jail.
Bro.
He's been
he needs to check himself. Continue. Didn't mean to interrupt that.
But why is this important that he's wrestling Dirty Dom? It's CM Punk's in-ring debut. B, it's Dirty Dom, and it's a good opponent for him to have. But B, it's in Los Angeles. And you know what else is in Los Angeles? Warner Brothers Discovery. And Denton, of course. Denton's in Los Angeles. But Warner Brothers Discovery's there. And the rumors is that that's when they're going to have the final meeting, the final sales pitch. The CM Punk's going to be there. Triple H, Nick Khan, whoever else. Cody Rhodes maybe will meet with the Nick Zaslav or whatever his name is, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery. But they're also apparently merging now with Paramount Plus. So I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery. But if that's the case, AEW could be in some big trouble, because it all comes down to cost. The cost of WWE is expensive, especially if they want the NBA contract too. I don't know if they can afford both, or if they want to pay for both when AEW is a lot cheaper, but
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see. And December 30th, that whole week is going to be an interesting time to be a wrestling fan with WWE meeting with the Warner Brothers Discovery execs, and they may even be at the match.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, I was more 20% WWE was gonna get bought out. Now I'm more like 40% with this happening. So I mean, maybe. I mean, crazier things to remember. Vince McMahon took over Nitro, where Shane McMahon appeared on the last ever one during Monday Night Raw airing. So anything could happen in the wrestling world, but we'll see. We'll see. Interesting stuff. And I was gonna go to this because I don't ever. Who goes to live events? And I looked it up. These tickets are going more than the Monday Night Raw in like San Diego the following day. And like, I'm like, never. I'm not going to pay $200 to go sit down just myself to go watch a live event. No thanks. Where they like don't even come out to their intros, dude. I don't know. I heard live events like there's not much to it. So
yeah, but if it's Punk making his debut against your boy, I mean that's like your dream match. So,
but then I was thinking maybe they'll just redo the match.
Yeah, this is probably going to start a Judgment Day.
Yeah. And day one's in San Diego on New Year's. That's New Year's Day, right? And I have no New Year's plans. Don't got my kids. Maybe I'll go down to San Diego and go watch that. Day
San
one
Diego's
event.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 3 hours away from me. So, yes. All right. That's it. Anything else? Any other news breaking for WWE? I'm sure we'll have some news tomorrow.
Yeah, we got some big news going on in AEW, but as far as I know,
noticed Tony Khan's a little worried too. So now since I'm on X, I get to see what everybody writes about on X, and he's like, he was hyping up that they were the #1 cable show, even though their ratings were trash and this and like.
He had Final
looks
Battle.
A little nervous.
Yeah, at Final Battle last Friday, he did a media scrum, and he was basically saying that no matter what AEW does, the negativity comes out. Yeah, it was not a good look for him. So someone needs to keep that man off TV.
MJF compared AEW to the Jews, just so you know, to the Jewish community. Did you read that? That they've always been hated on? And I'm like, dude, you just got an award for being like a good Samaritan to the Jewish community, and you said that comment? I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll talk to me. We'll
talk about Maxwell tomorrow because he made some other comments this week about his contract status in AEW. So we'll see what we'll see. Yeah, we'll talk more about that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, you ready?
Always, man.
Ready to go into the weekend review. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to go back to old school when we used to be with a third member who is, I think, going to bring us back pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. We're back, baby. The world's been wanting it. They've been begging him for it. They've been begging him. So we're maybe we're going to come back, have 2 podcasts. I don't know. But nonetheless, I used to do a 60-second or less recap of each show. We're going to bring it back. We're going to do things a little bit differently. No more you do 2, I do 2. A little bit more talking, discussing. Whatever we want to talk about, we're going to talk about. We're going to knock it out of the park. Are you ready, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
All right. I wrote all these down. Let's see if I got it all right. Didn't miss anything. And here we go on Smackdown. Hold on. We're ready. Roman Reigns open. Yeah, right. Yeah. I was good at never mind. All right, let's go. Roman Reigns opens the show and announces Solo is the tribal heir. Randy interrupts and also announces that Daddy is back and challenges Roman at the Rumble. Carmelo Hayes beats Grayson Waller. Kevin Owens beats Austin Theory as they both advance in the U.S. tournament. Roman bans Yeet. So no yeet, ladies and gentlemen. Karrion Kross has a great promo, which will lead to who knows where. Damage Control also has a great promo where they look a little bit more legit, and they are here to take over, and Bayley wants to win the Royal Rumble. They beat Vega and Michin. Jimmy Uso loses yet again, this time to Randy Orton. LA Knight comes out, helps out. They stand tall over the bloodline until a returning AJ Styles loaded on steroids clotheslines LA Knight to close the show. And that is our 60 seconds or less recap of SmackDown. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. What'd you like, Ryan? Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
So I will say I like the pacing of this show. There was, sometimes simple is good. And this show was pretty simple. It focused on 3 things: Roman Reigns' return, the U.S. title tournament, and the women's Royal Rumble, the women's championship, all that stuff, Damage Control. So I did like that. But the thing that I want to talk about is the big return of AJ Styles and how that
You
further
meant big, right? Like
yeah,
big return.
yeah, literally big, the big, humongous return of the Incredible Hulk that is AJ Styles. When he came out, and I was excited when he came out. I was like, "Oh crap! I forgot AJ Styles was even on SmackDown." And he came out and took out the Bloodline there in the main event, and then he, for whatever reason, took out LA Knight. And I mean, it makes sense that when AJ Styles was out, LA Knight he's the one that got the title shot against Roman. He's the one that got the he got the tag team with John Cena when that was supposed to be his spot. So I could see AJ being mad about that. But is AJ a heel now? Is he turning? Is that what this is supposed to be? Is he going back to the lone wolf AJ Styles that we saw in TNA there at the very end, where he was coming out by himself and didn't have really, he had like a weird theme song. It was just a weird, he didn't say anything in promos. I don't know what they're doing, but I kind of liked it, but I also didn't really like it that much.
Well, what about this? Well, he didn't touch Randy and Randy didn't look like he was too nervous of it. And he was still staring down the bloodline. I think we are blurring lines a lot right now in WWE, like in AEW, where heels and baby faces are starting to become obsolete. CM Punk, Seth Rollins. But here's the thing. I heard everybody saying, because he took his spot, if you pay attention closely, because I watched this a couple times on Rewind, right before when AJ comes in, he's standing on the rope staring. LA Knight grabs AJ and like pulls him behind him. He like grabs him, watch it. But they cut to Roman as soon as he's like grabbing him. And then when they cut back, he's clotheslining him. So I wonder if it's just because he laid his hands on him. I wonder if he's like, bro, I was like standing there helping you out and you grabbed me and shoved me away. Like, who are you, LA Knight? So I did like that. And I would much, I'm digging this a lot more than this whole, like, who's going to wrestle Roman Reigns, Randy or LA Knight. Like, here you go. You were an LA Knight fan. I was saying that after he lost to Roman, that he was going to start losing his credibility. I think he has. I get the crowd still cheers for him. You tell me right now.
Not as much.
Like it does not know. Are you feeling, who's going to face? Or are you like, LA Knight, get out of the way? What are you feeling about that? Because they had their little, I didn't say it in my read, but they had that little backstage standoff.
Yeah, and now where does AJ Styles fit into that? Because it was the Bloodline that wrote him off of TV as well. So
everybody wants a Roman.
Yeah, I want to see Randy Orton get his revenge against Roman. And so I think LA Knight had his chance, and I am worried about LA Knight. I am. I don't know where he's going to go in the Rumble. I mean, I don't think he's going to win the Rumble anymore.
No.
If he's not going to wrestle Roman in the main event. I could see them maybe doing a fatal 4-way in the main event of the Royal Rumble and do it Roman versus AJ versus LA versus Randy, something along those lines. But I don't know. I want to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. I feel like that's like the one. We haven't really gotten a true one-on-one match between these two guys yet. I like the opening segment with Randy talking about how Roman's a legend in the business and he's a legend killer. So I like those lines. And you bring back the legend killer gimmick. I didn't really care for the rest of the opening stuff there with Roman. And, I think you just crapped your pants. Like the juvenile behavior and the and Roman seemed a little off in his first promo back.
Roman grabbed his butt. He grabbed his butt when
Yeah.
he said, "Did you crap your pants?" Which was like stupid. I'm like, "Are you?" I don't know.
Yeah. So
I thought it was a miss for Roman again. I think the last 2 times Roman has been here, it hasn't felt. I think Roman Reigns is good when he misses a few weeks. I don't think Roman, he doesn't feel as important either. Like it used to be when he showed up, it was like, oh shit, here it comes. Now it's just like, oh, Roman's here. Cool. And let's just move. He doesn't even feel like the champion, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you can't take months off. I feel like he's taken too long of hiatuses.
Yeah. And I think too, WWE, I get why they do it, but they don't need to announce his return. And I feel like if that return was a surprise, people would have been. I think people would have been a little bit more excited to see him. But because we knew, oh, Roman's back tonight. Roman, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna do? Instead, like let it be a surprise and bring Roman out or something. But I think we're either getting Randy versus Roman or a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble with all 4 of those guys. And either way, I think Roman's leaving with the championship.
Well, 100%. It wasn't confirmed at Rumble, right? That Randy just challenged him. It wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
So
no.
You like Solo being the tribal heir? Do you like? That's what that's leading to, right? That's leading to Cody winning by Solo turning on him because Solo, long-term storytelling, was put
Helped
in
Roman
by
last
the
year.
elders to
Mhm.
help, and he helped Roman. He was put in by the elders. This is all storytelling, long-term storytelling done perfectly, because it's going to end with Solo betraying him and so on. I still think Jay should have been the one to win, but it is what it is, because that's
Yeah.
really long-term storytelling. But yeah.
Yeah, I do like I do like that it adds a little bit of dimension to Solo. It makes Solo feel important, because he was another guy that kind of got lost after he silenced John Cena. He did the Samoan spike to John Cena at Crown Jewel. He hit him like 16 or 17 times. Basically ended John Cena's career. We haven't seen him since. And obviously he's back in Hollywood, but we haven't seen him in the WWE world since. And so and then he kind of just he didn't wrestle at Survivor Series. He hasn't really done anything since. He's been in the main event with Randy Orton and Jimmy Uso. They've been taking losses. So I think the tribal heir thing will kind of revive Solo Sikoa a little bit and make him a credible threat going into the WrestleMania season. And I think that's what he needed. So yeah, I am digging that. And I like the switcheroo. I never once thought it was going to be Jimmy, but I love Jimmy's antics where he was like, yeah, it's going to be me. He's like walking up and he's like,
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah. He is a phenomenal heel. I just wish that they would book the Usos a little bit better.
Yeah, and we got the return to Karrion Kross. I'm excited. He's finally going to have a huge future in the... Did they listen to our podcast? I just talked about that last week. Is that what we're doing here? Because then he gets like a promo. I thought it was a weird to just have him get smashed last week and then just come back and have like a...
That's what they do, man.
Beginning.
That's
like,
what they did the same thing with...
give like a week off.
They did it with Shinsuke too. Shinsuke lost a bunch of people, and then all of a sudden he's this new ferocious Shinsuke Nakamura that's reading bedtime stories to Seth Rollins. So
yeah, we'll get there. Yeah,
or to Cody Rhodes rather, but yeah,
Cody Rhodes. Yeah. All right, and the last thing, I like that Damage Control feels a little bit important. I like their new logo on the screen. I like them not arguing and bickering. They were all on the same page. Even Bayley announcing she's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble sounds like a no-brainer. Bayley versus Io Sky at Mania. I mean, sign me up. That's Bayley.
I want to see a Damage Control triple threat. Bayley versus Io Sky versus Dakota Kai. Somehow, maybe she wins the chamber or something.
Did you see Dakota Kai in
those
shorts and her like? Have you seen her post? X, thank you, X. I don't know why X has better posts than Instagram, but holy guacamole, Dakota Kai.
Yeah, she's got it going on. That's for sure.
Got me all of my feelings.
I do like that they turned the Charlotte Flair thing into a storyline to hype up Damage Control too. I thought that was the right call, and Damage Control feels important, and they took out one of the best players in the game. So yeah,
they did.
I'm loving it. I'm digging it.
They did. All right, you ready for Monday Night Raw?
Yes, sir.
Here's the 60-second or less recap. You ready?
Always.
We got the, although it just started this week, the Judgment Day opens the show and R-Truth cuts them off and tells some jokes, says they hurt his feelings emotionally and physically, and challenges JD to a loser leaves Judgment Day match in which Truth wins. Nia Jax and Becky Lynch talk again. Lynch jumps on her back, and now they will fight at day one. Gunther beats The Miz again in a very good match. Gunther puts Imperium in their place. Nakamura tells a Christmas story that rhymes and gets attacked by Cody from behind. Chelsea Green and Piper Naveen lose their titles to the girls on acid. Ivar beats Tozawa. Seth Rollins and Drew talk again, and Drew slams him on the steel steps. Ouch. Jey Uso beats Kaiser, and is he next up for Gunther? JD is still in the Judgment Day, I guess, and the Judgment Day beat the Creeds to keep their titles, and Damian Priest was pissed off because one of them landed on his head, and that's the 60-second or less recap of Monday Night Raw.
Oh, man, that was
a
emotional.
Lot. 3 hours.
That's an emotional roller coaster of Judgment Day right there, because, first of all, R-Truth is a national treasure, and he needs to be protected at all costs. That man, that man can go out there with a mop, and it would be entertaining as hell. He's just, and I love that. I love it, but I hate it at the same time. I love that he went out there and, he was like, hey, what about me, guys? Like, that's my initiation beatdown, and he thinks he's a member of Judgment Day. It is funny stuff. And
the initiation beatdown even had Damian Priest. That was pretty funny.
Like they all broke character. You could tell they were trying not to laugh. And even Damian, he was like, DP, I've always liked you the best. And, you hurt my feelings. Like, it was good stuff. And, but at the same time, I also don't like it because You don't see the bloodline.
Mm-mm.
You don't see the bloodline in segments like this, but yes, you kind of
Mhm.
did, because Sami Zayn was doing like the Usi stuff, and he was doing
But not like this.
no,
This is
not
way more. Yeah.
yeah, and then the whole
Uh,
like loser leaves Judgment Day, but no, not really. That was it felt like a waste of a match, a waste of a win
did
for
he
R-Truth.
hug him and then they just fell over and then he happened to pin him? What happened there? Was that a
Yeah,
move or was
that's
he?
I don't
The
know.
whole
I don't
match
know.
was a joke too. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, a Miracle on
And
34th
JD,
Street fight, and
yeah, JD needs some cred, not gimmicky joke matches. But
taking L's, like taking that Randy Orton RKO off of the War Games K. Like, yeah,
yeah,
he's the guy that they gets beat up all the time. But
hmm hmm
yeah, I feel like Judgment Day needs to be taken a little bit more seriously. And what's Rhea Ripley doing? Yeah, she has the match with Ivy Nile, I guess, but
hmm
still, she's not really. She's involved with R-Truth right now, so it's kind
hmm
of. Meanwhile, Becky Lynch and Nia Jax are doing phenomenal stuff in the women's
hmm
division, and it's not the title's not even on the line in that. So
Nope.
it's kind of it just Judgment Day does not feel important right now, and it just feels like they're either wasting. They know that this is a dead time in the WWE, so let's make it a fun
hmm
time because it's the Christmas
Yeah.
episodes, and then they'll get really serious as we get on the road to the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But I also
hmm
don't like that they're wasting time like that. So that's my mini rant. It was an up and down night for Judgment Day. I'm glad that they retained the titles. The Creeds are not ready. As great as they are, they're not quite ready.
Yeah. Well, and it showed off that finisher where he landed on Damian Priest's head, and Damian Priest did not look happy. He was holding his head after the match. He looked pissed off, like very mad. So I mean, stuff happens. I thought Damian Priest was a cool dude. I don't know if maybe he didn't want the move to be done to him. I'd have no idea, but it happened. And yeah, I'm the same way. Judgment Day needs to be taken seriously. At least they ended on top. They look serious. They kept their titles. At least we can move on from there, and hopefully a little someone will cash in pretty soon. I'm more interested in the Jey Uso thing. So talking about coming out of nowhere, I mean, have they even talked to each other before? And then all of a sudden he's wrestling Kaiser out of nowhere. And now is he next? Because Gunther said he's taking a few weeks off, which leads to Jey beating up his guys until he comes back. But you're talking about Gunther. If anybody is going to dethrone Gunther, I mean, Jey Uso seems like that guy. Once again, to become the champion, to be a star, what have I always said? You got to have a secondary title run. I still don't think Gunther will lose it until he's ready for his title run, but maybe he is. Maybe he is. What do you think? You think I'm just jumping to conclusions? But I don't think you put Jey against Kaiser for no reason.
No. It makes me wonder, though, is this how we get to Jimmy versus Jey at WrestleMania? Because maybe Jey gets his shot at the Royal Rumble against Gunther for the IC title, and Jimmy costs him the match again, and Jey gets fed up, and he's just like, you know what? I want you, Uso. I want you at Mania, and we're going to settle this, because he cost him the world. He cost him the Undisputed Championship. He cost him the tag team titles. Now he's cost him the Intercontinental Championship, and so now, I do wonder. But I like Jey Uso. I like him going after Gunther. I feel bad for the Miz, because the Miz can never go after the IC title again as long as Gunther has it. But that was a banger of a match that they had. That was probably better than the match they had at Survivor Series or Crown Jewel, whenever they had it. But it was a banger of a match. It was the Miz can go. Gunther brought it. Yeah, it was all phenomenal. But yeah, I am curious to see what happens with Jey Uso. I think I do think it's going to give us that's how we get to Jimmy versus Jey.
I like that. That's a good round. That's a good workaround. I enjoy it. I wanted to talk about Nakamura too, because he did it all in English. The rhyme was funny. The one thing that caught me on the rhyme, though, was that he straight said his dad was inbred.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, snap, crackle, and pop, man!" And the crowd was even like, "Ooh, shoot!"
Yeah.
It was like one of those things where you're like, "Man, that was like cold." Not like, "Oh," that was more like, "Oh, damn!" Like that's our dude. That's the dream you're talking about. Inbred. Like that was, it was dark, but you know what? It led to Cody's randomly walking by a Christmas tree and noticing he's there, so we jumped through it to attack him. I don't know, but either way, but it's heating up. Nakamura's talking crap. He did it in English, which I appreciated. I at least thought it was fun. It was different. I like, it was like in the Christmas theme without being too jokey, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I did like the rhyme, and then the inbred line it reminded me of the Princess Bride, where the Mazik or whatever his name, he kept saying inconceivable in Inigo Montoya's. Like, you keep using that word, but I don't think it means what you think it means. I don't know if Shinsuke knows what inbred means. I think he was just like, I gotta have a word that rhymes. Let me come up with the word inbred. And
I don't think he wrote that. I think he was I think he was reading it and he was like, inbred.
Inbred, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it means what he thinks it means, but
no.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I'm still not really into this feud like everybody else is, because Cody Rhodes is going to come out on top, because there's no way on the road to WrestleMania Cody's going to lose. So, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm entertained by it.
And should we just end it with the sadness of Chelsea Green losing the tag team titles?
Yeah, I didn't like that
she
call.
Is gorgeous, and these girls aren't ready from NXT, and I like them. I like them in NXT. I didn't think they were ready to be the NXT tag team champions, and let alone the WWE. I thought it was kind of, who are they giving it to? I feel like this is a transitional thing. I think they were just kind of like, Chelsea and Piper ain't working, just Chelsea is, because Piper wasn't really doing much. But it was sad to see Chelsea lose here, because I was a huge fan of Chelsea Green. Still am. She's still one of the harder workers. And dude, that girl is gorgeous. Yeah, so underrated. Bring back Matt Cardona. Let's have them together. Come on. Let's get a little power couple in WWE going on here.
We got one
and they work well.
And Seth and Drew. That was a good, or Seth and Becky are the power couple, but Seth and Drew was a good promo.
It was.
I'm excited about their match. I'm excited about their match at day one. And
we know who's going to win, but
we didn't have CM Punk, which I don't know. I felt like this show was kind of needed CM Punk, I think, but
it was kind of a slow day. That step on that move on the steps were brutal. The steel steps with him power bombing him on him. But this is really making me think Drew's on his way out, because after he loses to Seth, where do you go with Drew after this? It kind of like defeats the whole thing of what he was going for. I feel like maybe he is on his way out. Maybe they're giving him one run because they respect him and appreciate him. And I don't know who in the world would want to go to AEW right now, but that's just me. I'm not saying who wouldn't want to stay in AEW if you're in it, but I'm saying like who would want to go there right now. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, unless you're one of these guys who were free agents, you don't have a job at WWE. But I could not picture it. But all right, that was Monday Night Raw. You ready for some NXT action?
Always.
A little slow episode, so let's get into the 60-second or less recap. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Tiffany Stratton loses to Henley for some reason. Then Stratton beats her up, pours trash on her, and mops her face. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes are good again, but are they? Dragunov talks about them when Rich Holland comes out for no reason and challenges them to a title match. Lexis King advances in the tournament. Jane and Hale lose to James and Dame for some strange reason as well. Andre Chase is shooting dice in the back and goes double or nothing in a match for next week. Dragon Lee beats both Joe Coffey and Charlie Dempsey. And homeboy from you know where is there, I guess. He's just watching Joe Gacy in the background once again. Trick Williams is mad and Cora Jade is back. Tavion Heights advances. People want to fight Valkyria. Nikita Lyons beats Paxley, I think is her name. Gallus beats Hank and Tank. And Rich Holland gives Dragunov a DDT and breaks his neck, maybe to close out the show. And that's the 60-second or less recap of NXT.
Yeah, not
weird week.
Very slow week in NXT. And obviously the episode was pre-recorded last week, and
everyone already knew about the Dragunov thing.
Yeah, I think next week's is pre-recorded too. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this Dragunov thing. You talk about randomness that comes out of nowhere, and we criticize AEW for this. Where did Rich Holland come from? Why is he on NXT? Why is he not with the Brawling Brutes? Why is he going after the NXT champion? Is he next in line for the title? And why are they doing an injury neck angle right now? Like when the guy literally hurt Big E and put Big E on the shelf, and Big E can never wrestle again, and that's not storyline, that's not kayfabe, that's real life. Why are they putting him in this as a character right now? And maybe the only thing I can see is maybe Big E is cleared to return, and this is how he comes back, and it leads to him coming back, and he goes to NXT. But I don't see that happening. But that's the only thing I can see that could be a positive out of this. Otherwise, I feel like it's in pretty poor taste.
I think it's in super poor taste. I didn't like it at all. And the fact that, like I was telling you before, that he was like yelling out like, not again, not again. And
Yeah,
don't bounce the ring, don't bounce the ring. Like unless they're trying to give him sympathy. But if you don't remember, this dude was getting straight death threats from
yeah,
people on the internet. And so much so that Big E, Xavier, they had to come out and basically say, leave this dude alone. Like, it was
it
not
was an
100%
accident.
his
Yeah,
fault. It was an accident. Wrestling happens. Big E didn't flip hard enough. He didn't throw hard enough. That's how wrestling works. And to like leave this dude alone. So I don't know why you would want to bring this back. I don't know if this is an HBK call, somebody else, but I think it's poor taste. I think they need to stop doing it. I don't get it. And you have Dragunov and Trick Williams already in the bag. Why even? I don't understand what this has to do with. Is this going to lead to Trix and Carmelo because they were beefing in the back, or Trix was complaining, not beefing, but he was complaining about it, that he's not getting his one-on-one opportunity, and now it might be a three-way. I don't know what's going on, but
do
I
they
didn't
take the
like
belt
it.
off of Dragunov and make Trick versus Carmelo for the title? I mean, I could see that too.
I don't
know.
I don't know what's happening. Just like I don't know why people want to fight Valkyria. I told you when she won that belt, she was going to be nothing. It wasn't going to feel important. What has she done since she won that belt? Please explain.
Yeah, nothing.
But everybody and their mom wants to fight her. I had a whole promo vid of everybody wanting to challenge her and talking about it backstage, and everybody wants a piece of her, but I guess she doesn't wrestle whatsoever. But other than that, Lexus King, man, what do you, I mean, you good with him winning this tournament? He's going to win the tournament. So are you?
I guess. I mean,
with it?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't really impressed me since he's been back, and I didn't care for his thing with Carmelo Hayes. That was basically a huge waste of time. I haven't really been all that impressed with his matches and his promos. So I do feel like he is going to win this breakout tournament. I don't know of anybody else that can or should, but yeah, I guess I'm okay with it. I mean, we'll see what he can do. I mean, it's sink or swim, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah. Are you impressed with Andre Chase's dice skills, or no, he's winning a lot of money out there? What was that about?
He's got to earn it back apparently. So because he's in debt. God. So
my thing is, Andre Chase is back there. Why did he have to like fit the vibe? Just because you're shooting dice with some black dudes means you have to start acting like them and have his collar up. And I was like, dude, you don't have to go like the full racist thing. He could just be Andre Chase just playing dice, and that girl randomly found them shooting dice and was like, he accepts. Weird segment. NXT was kind of weird this week. I know NXT, like I was telling you, has to have like an off week. It has to kind of build itself or find out what it's doing for the future because it is a developmental show. But yeah, this was one of those weeks. Hopefully next week's better. I'm sure you can look it up, but hopefully it gets a little bit better because this was a little bit of a dud week for me.
And Tiffany Stratton losing to Henley like that was... Henley. I've never seen her before on NXT TV. I haven't seen her in a long time. That's for sure.
She's that. Yeah. She's like cowgirl girl, right? With the two dudes. Yeah.
But losing to or her beating Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is money right now, and now it feels like all of her momentum is gone too. So
yeah. Well, she did mop her face afterwards, literally.
Yeah, that's true. That
was weird. Dumping trash on her and mopping her face. That was. Yeah.
But
now she's gonna be her servant. That's that. We're going back to the Attitude Era right now, Shawn Michaels.
NXT needs they need more Dirty Dom and they need more Judgment Day. They need more main roster people right now. Baron Corbin needs to come back. I don't know what he's doing. They need Judgment Day on there.
Because it helped.
It certainly helped. It made it a little bit more intriguing and enjoyable having them on there.
Yeah, it did. All right, that's our weekend review, my man. We did it.
Yeah,
we did it.
I like that. I like that.
It was good.
Format a little bit better.
Yeah, it was easier. Smooth talking. All right, Ryan, you ready? We're going to go into some of our segments. Do we have a promo for that? I forget if we have an intro for this.
We do. Trying to get them. They ain't hating, just listen. If you don't agree, man, they get it. They gon' say it with their chest, even if you upset. They can take their heat, none of this get some stress. This is something they been holding in. Two dudes ain't afraid to tell them what it is. And you might even agree. So open up your minds, come and listen to the team.
Boy, Rich, man, killing it.
Yeah, Rich. Shout out to Rich Latta. He does the Marina Schaefer song in AEW as well. So shout out to him.
Yes, did you hit him up about that after we found out?
I did. Yeah, he was like, "You didn't know that?" I was like, "No, I had no idea. He didn't tell me either." It was weird. Like I had to find that out. But
he's not a bragger. Nothing wrong with that.
I get it.
Dude is killing it, man. Dude is killing it. All right, you ready for unpopular opinion? This is where we are going to give our takes on something that we want to happen that is probably going to be unpopular with the normal base of wrestling fans or the majority. Are you ready, Ryan? You get to go
Yes,
first.
sir. All right. So here's my unpopular opinion, and I expect disagreement, and I expect people to come at me. But I actually think if they do CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40 for the World Heavyweight Championship, I think I think CM Punk should lose. I don't think.
Ooh.
I don't. It sounds weird to say because we've been saying that Seth Rollins needs to drop the belt. He needs to drop the belt. He needs to drop the belt. But I don't think CM Punk needs the title. I think he's bigger than the belt. I think every segment he's on will get watched. I think every match he has will get watched. People are going to be waiting to hear what he has to say every time he's on the promo. He doesn't need the belt right now. And I think it would help his reputation because when he was in AEW, you know, his reputation took a huge hit with the whole All Out thing. Whether you think he was innocent or guilty in that whole thing, him punching people backstage, him, you know, attacking everyone, and people think that, you know, there was this whole thing of like he's selfish, he's only out for himself. Seth Rollins even said it as much that, you know, you're only back here because you want money. He said it himself that he's not here to make friends, he's here to make money in his WWE debut. So why not repair your image, repair your reputation, and go out there and don't be the hypocrite. You know, you didn't like it when The Rock came in out of nowhere and ended your title reign. You hated all the part-time guys like Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker taking big spots at WrestleMania and winning the matches when you were showing up to work the next day. And now you're going to kind of come in and take the belt off of Seth Rollins immediately. I don't know. I think this is the most credible opponent that Seth Rollins has had. And I'd be okay if Damian Priest cashes in on Seth Rollins and takes the belt off of him then, and then we get Priest versus Rollins for the belt. But I don't think CM Punk needs to be in the title picture.
Yeah, the only thing is that he's doing the whole finish the story thing like Cody Rhodes did. So I think he will. I mean, although it's only main eventing, it's having his WrestleMania main event moment.
And that's another story too, is I think that's a better story. We talked about it last year with Cody Rhodes, that it's a better story for him to lose because he hasn't lost yet. So imagine CM Punk, he finally gets that WrestleMania, that moment he's been wanting his entire career, the one thing that's eluded him, and that's the WrestleMania main event. And he comes up just short in a hell of a match against Seth Rollins. I think it's a better story. I really do.
All right. I'm about to one-up you on my unpopular opinion because I'm going to continue with exactly what you said. Are you ready? Do you think, here the Patrick says, do you think a WrestleMania main event was part of Punk's return contract like Cody supposedly was? Possibly. I think him main eventing WrestleMania was, 100%. 100% it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's why he said finishing the story. But here you go. My unpopular opinion, Damian Priest has to cash in at WrestleMania. And it has to be Punk that he cashes in on. So
I'd be okay with that too.
Yeah. You said he's going to have his moment and have it taken away. He beats Seth in a brutal match where he's almost beaten to a pulp. He's trying to figure his bearings, and out comes Damian Priest with the Judgment Day. Bada bing, bada boom. He does this big little choke slam move. I forget what it's called. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest finally gets the respect he deserves and becomes a champ. And I think Priest then leaves Judgment Day after that. I think he'll leave once he thinks he's too big. He's getting love, respect, cheered, blah, blah, blah. He's going to think he's way too big for JD and the rest of the dudes, and he's going to bounce out of the Judgment Day after that. So, yeah, I think Damian Priest needs to cash in at Mania. I think it's time. We should have had it with Theory last year. I think we're going to have it with Damian Priest this year. I really do. I'll take it on Cody, Roman, or I'll take the same thing with Cody, too, with him finally finishing his story and Damian Priest beating him as well. But I think it's better with Punk because, like you said, I don't think Punk needs the title. I know we never saw Punk's AEW true championship reign because he was injured every time he basically won it. But, I mean, he wasn't where he was. I mean, now he's all, welcome to the steroid return club. So maybe he'll start eating his vitamins soon. But go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I like that. I think. I just don't think CM Punk needs to be in the title picture. And I think him putting over a younger talent or putting over the homegrown WWE guy, I think it would go a long way in CM Punk's reputation. And I think it's the right thing to do is for Punk to come up just short at WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right. You ready?
more?
Your
Yeah.
last one? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I'm going to go the other way. So Roman Reigns could surpass Hulk Hogan if he holds the Undisputed Championship until September. And I think WWE should make that happen. I don't think Cody Rhodes should win the belt. I know people are probably tired of Roman being the part-time guy, taking months off at a time and everything. And I get that, right? Like he was flat on Friday night. He was flat the last time he was there with LA Knight. And so, yeah, I get that. But I think he should retain the belt. I mean, you've come this far. You've come so close. Why give it up now? Like you're so like September's not. I mean, yeah, it's 8 months away. But if Roman holds the belt until WrestleMania, then it's only 5 months away. So just let him do it. Let him make history and let him be the greatest champion of all time. And maybe he retires and takes the belt with him, and then that's how we get the new belt, or maybe that's how we get to Cody Rhodes finally winning it. He doesn't. I think Cody can win the belt. I just don't think he needs to beat Roman Reigns to do so.
And then how far is he from Bruno after that? Because then you're gonna say, well, now
Yeah,
he's only
no,
like
he
a
has
year
to-
away from
He'll
Bruno.
have to hold it. I was looking
just-
at X. He would have to hold the belt.
Hogan's
until
number 2, right?
Yeah. For Roman to pass Bruno, he would have to hold the belt until 2028, and I don't want that to happen at all. That's a long time because he held it for like 7 or 8
guacamole.
years. Bruno did. So,
Yeah.
Um,
Which was nonsense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, and he was actually fighting too. Unlike Roman, Bob Backlund is number 2. Is he? So we'd have to beat Backlund.
I thought Hogan was.
I thought
too.
Hogan's.
Yeah.
I thought too. I don't
But
know.
either
I'll
way-
have to look that up. Yeah.
But either way, you're so close. Come WrestleMania, just let him do it. You might as well.
I mean, if Punk wins the title, it could happen because you have a big mainstream champion that you can have Rome. That was the whole point of giving Seth the title, right? Here's my only thing with Roman still keeping it after Mania is that now they have we now on SmackDown. So on Raw, you have Seth Rollins and Gunther defend their titles all the time. They fight all the time. And then on SmackDown, you have a part-timer in Roman, and now you have a part-timer in Logan Paul. Logan Paul legit won the title and wrestles less now than he did before. I don't even understand how that's possible.
There's
it's
no
just-
singles men title on SmackDown.
No, so SmackDown, and they're the higher rating and the bigger show, and
the
it's
tag
weird
titles
to me.
never get defended on SmackDown either.
On
That's the-
SmackDown. No, SmackDown is like, keep your damn titles out of here. We don't want them. I'm bizarro by it. So I don't know about that, but I'm going to tell you this much. I could see it happening. Triple H is all about long title reigns. I can see it happening.
Especially, like you said, if Seth Rollins' title reigns ends and Gunther's reign ends at WrestleMania and Rhea Ripley's reign ends, or Io
that
Sky
ain't ending.
and Bailey wins, like you can't have so many title changes at WrestleMania. So you gotta have a couple of title defenses, and I think Roman's perfect. I just don't think Cody Rhodes is that guy too.
All right, we have our analytics guy. Patrick just sent it to me. Hulk Hogan, number 3 at 1,474 days. Bob Backlund, 2,135 days.
That's like 2 more years.
Bruno, 2,803 days. So
Yeah, that's like 5 more years. So
yeah, we got them all. Yeah. Well, where's Roman at right now? 1,200?
Yeah, I think something around that. Yeah, 1,200. I think they said. So.
Oh man, when did Bob Backlund had that a long? Those were all in the days when wrestling, like they wrestled once a week on live shows, didn't even like have televised events and things like that.
That's why I think you should do it. I think you should do it and rewrite history.
All right, let's see. All right, my last one. You ready? Unpopular opinion. I think your boy and Patrick's boy, LA Knight, needs to move on from Roman Reigns in the title picture altogether. I think that's why they put AJ Styles to clothesline him. I think we are going to get AJ and LA Knight coming up, whether at Rumble or so on. I just think it's much better. It makes more sense. LA Knight has no chance to beat Roman. There are 1,000 people who want to fight him right now. Cody's not even involved at the moment, and he's going to come and tell his story. I think LA Knight needs to stop. I'm not buying it anymore. And I know it's because I said it, but just look at the reactions. He's not getting them like he used to. Don't, just because he's getting cheered and people still say LA Knight, he needs to be a secondary champion. I think he needs to be the one to dethrone Logan Paul at Mania.
I think that would help.
I think
significantly.
So I think he needs to move on to AJ. after Rumble, go on against feuding with Logan and build on to that, and that will help him become a superstar. But he still needs a gimmick. You can't just be the man. You got to be more than that if you want to become a world champion.
And
100%.
Have a reason to get behind you. So
yes, sir. So so there it is. Sorry, fans.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah, he needs to go after Logan Paul, big time.
All right. Well, that was it. That was our first WWE edition of Two Dudes with Attitudes, new and improved.
Season 2. That's right.
New name. Season 2. Boy, Season 2. What's good? Season 2 is always better than Season 1. Like we said, we got all new names. I'm no longer Mr. MWO. I am now Mr. Heartbreak Dude, because I'm a Heartbreak Kid fan and I'm a dude, so I'm the Heartbreak Dude. Because nowadays, ladies, I am single and I am breaking hearts every single day, and I am that dude. Denton, as always, my boy also changed his name and all his streaming things. What's your name? Let him know.
Yes, sir. It is Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Easy peasy, because I'm just a dude who enjoys wrestling. So at the end of the day, we all should enjoy wrestling. We may critique it, we may criticize it, we're going to talk about it every week, but at the end of the day, we both enjoy wrestling. So we can't forget that. Can't ever lose sight of that. Yeah,
more love, less violence on here. Less violence. No more starting fights at SummerSlam, people.
Yeah,
and as always, follow us on all social media streaming devices that you can get. You'll see in our logo here and the logos that I have and that Ryan's going to be posting up as well. It has all of our streamings on here. We're on X now. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch still. We're on it all this week too. We're gonna coming up next week. In the next couple of weeks, I'm off because I'm a teacher, so I have all this time. We're gonna try to do some follow-alongs. Hopefully, maybe we'll do the AEW event, maybe something else. We're gonna try to see what we're gonna add. We'll start announcing it. So have some fun. We did watch-alongs before, and they were awesome times. We were having fun, drinking beers, eating food, making jokes, having a good time, talking about wrestling. It was good stuff. Yeah. Let them know what else. Where can they follow us all? And
we're on TikTok at Two Dudes with Attitudes. We're on everywhere you get your podcast platform. We're here on YouTube, so go follow us there. Help us get to 1,000 by WrestleMania 40. We need 400 more by WrestleMania 40. I think we can make that happen. And we're on. We individually are on Instagram and TikTok ourselves. And we'll have a background on our video podcast starting next week. I got to put one together. So. No more black screen of death.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, so.
Nothing wrong with a black screen of death. All right. And don't forget, we're back tomorrow, as always, with our AEW. And I need to watch it. I haven't watched any of the 3 shows. I'm going to do that today into tomorrow so I can do this AEW stuff.
We'll have our year-end awards. Yes, sir.
There it is.
So we're gonna
talk about
It's been a rough year in AEW, so this is gonna be hard to figure out what the moment of the year was, the match of the year, the promo of the year. So
you know who the wrestler of the year was, right?
Of course, yeah.
But other than that, Swerve. Tag team of the year, we're gonna have them all. Swerve, win a draw. Swerve. I did hear that Swerve and MJF had a little talk. I did hear that. I'm excited to see that. But Swerve needs to win it all, baby. But anyway, as always, I am the Heartbreak Dude, Denton, and with me is
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow us, subscribe, love us, give us a shout out, and go rate us and review us. And in the meantime, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Two dudes, Wolfpack, we out.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes, ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they hit.